Yo, what's up? Welcome. My name is Charles Jordan Brown. You can call me Jordan, or you can call me Chuck. Don't prefer that, but it's up to you. Um, and I'm teaching your class this semester, so you're very lucky, and you should thank yourself for enrolling in my class because it will change your life in meaningful ways, and you're welcome for that. Um, I am. We're going to learn about drugs and stuff, and I can't wait to teach you all about drugs and stuff. What I want to do first is say hello to Tabitha, Will, Trent, Meredith, Kelsey, Summer, Corbin, Aspen, Madison, Ashley, Madison, Kate, Emma, Caitlin, Sydney, Allie, Megan, Amberly, and Gabby. To all of you collectively, I say, what's up? Welcome to this semester in HSR 340, learning about drugs and stuff. You're probably wondering who I am, and so here's a little bit about me. I am a licensed therapy person, so I do therapy every day, 40 hours a week, and I work for St. Elizabeth, and then I do this stuff on the side. So I'm still actively practicing. I've been doing therapy for 15 years now. I've been with St. Elizabeth for the last 10. I've done worn a lot of different hats at St. Elizabeth. I started there as a therapist at their Journey Recovery Center. It was known as St. Elizabeth Behavioral Health and Addiction Medicine. A little too wordy of a name, so they shortened it to Journey Recovery Center. And so I was there for 5 years. Then I helped to create that program. So from the beginning, we had absolutely nothing, and it was only the sole focus was addiction. And so we had to create programming out of nowhere. So I helped to create their workflow, how we get patients in and out, the curriculum, all of that stuff. And then 5 years into that, they were like, "You're doing a great job. How about you actually become the manager of that?" So I did that for 2 years. And then NKU, I was already teaching. NKU said, "Hey, we got a full time gig for you." And I said, "Cool." So I took that, and that was not great. And so then I went back, and now I'm back with St. Elizabeth, and I've been there now for about 2 years. So about 10 years total with St. Elizabeth, and I've got all these things. I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor supervisor in Kentucky and Ohio. I'm also a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor in Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. I'm a therapist at not there. I'm actually at the Newport Ovation building, right? And I'm also the therapist representative with our executive team doing clinical practice committee work at St. Elizabeth. That's a big fancy way of saying they put a bunch of doctors, MDs in a room, and then there's me. And then they go, "Hey, what's up with all of you providers? What are you angry about?" And then we tell them, and then we fix stuff. And I'm the therapy guy. So out of all the therapists, I'm the one in that room. So I don't know what that means, but I'm that person. So there's that. I just wanted to get you to know me. A little more things besides that. I have a daughter named Cora, who is this one, and this one. I have a stepdaughter named Avery, who is this one, and they will probably make an appearance at some point. They are very camera ready, and they enjoy being on camera. And so I will, when they're here and they're around, we'll you may see them at some point. I got a girlfriend named Tammy who's way out of my league. This is her. I don't know what I did to deserve her, but I got very lucky, and I'm a very lucky man. Because have you ever seen those couples where like you're seeing them together and you go, "Wow, she's pretty," and then you look at the guy and you're like, "Oh, wow, uh, that's us." So I get to experience that while we're out, and that's a good time. That they're like, "Oh, hmm." So she's way out of my league, and I recognize that, and I have no shame in saying that. I'm man enough to admit that my girlfriend's out of my league, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoy beekeeping, as you can see. Those a little bit of my hives at my apiary that I have. It's pretty cool. Bees are awesome. And I got two dogs, Ramen, who is this one, and then Soba, who is this one. Soba plays fetch nonstop. It is an unlimited fetch party at my house. And then uh, Ramen, I love her, but she's really kind of dumb. Like there's just not like I'm sure you've looked at animals before, or maybe even people, and you just kind of look at them and there's not a lot happening. That's Ramen. Like Ramen she is an absolute sweetheart. Like one of the sweetest dogs that I have ever had. There's just not a lot happening behind the eyes, and it's she's so sweet. I'll just leave it at that. Ramen's a sweet girl. Okay, let's move on. All right, so we'll get done with the intros. Now you know who I am. So again, my name is Charles Jordan Brown. You can call me Jordan. Professor Brown is also fine. Don't call me Doctor because I'm not one of those. I have the letters after my name. There's a bunch of others based on state regs. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't put those on here because then my name would look like a Scrabble board, and I don't want that for anybody. So I don't have any off. I don't have an office. My office is here in my basement. So you can just hit me up whenever. Email brownc74@nku.edu. And that's how you can get to me. I'm pretty good about answering emails. So send me an email if you got questions, concerns, comments, recipes, anything that you feel is relevant to what you got going on, and I will be happy to answer that. I will do Zoom calls with you if you need. I have done that over the years with students that are either struggling or have questions or just want to pick my brain or have like they want to be a therapist one day and then they want to talk to me about what it's like to be a therapist. And so I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. And I will accommodate. I really enjoy those parts of my job. I like teaching. Teaching's great, and I've been doing this now for like 5 years. But reach out. I'm here for you, genuinely. Like I want this whole thing is for you. Okay, so here's our student learning objectives. We're going to understand a variety of models and theories of addiction and other problems related to substance use. We're going to recognize the social, political, economic, and cultural context within where addiction and substance use exist, including risk and resiliency factors that characterize individuals and groups in their living environments. Number 3, we're going to describe the behavioral, psychological, physical health, and social effects of psychoactive substances on the person. Number 4, we're going to recognize the potential for medical and mental health conditions to coexist, as we would say, co-occurring disorders. You'll be able to explain how medication-assisted treatment can benefit those struggling with substance use disorders. So we're going to talk a lot about Suboxone. We're going to talk a lot about methadone. We're going to talk a lot about Narcan. We're going to talk a lot about different options that are out there for people that are struggling with addiction, medication-wise. And then here's the thing, is I really emphasize this non-judgmental thing because addiction is not a moral thing. It's not. It's not a good or bad. It's not a test of someone's morality because they're struggling with addiction. It's a health issue. And so we would not get mad at somebody for having lupus. We would not get mad at somebody for having diabetes. We would not get mad at somebody for having a gastrointestinal issue. But we get mad at somebody because they're an addict, they struggle with addiction. And what? So that's not helping. So we're going to work on non-judgmental language. Okay. Even there, you kind of, I caught myself, and I've been doing this forever. I caught myself because I was about to say, because they're an addict. That's not an identifier, right? They struggle with addiction we'll get there. All right. So what can you expect to learn? You're going to learn about drugs and stuff. Because that's the purpose of the class and that's what we do. You're going to get book stuff, and the book stuff is good. I also want to give you what it's like to actually live it. And because both of those parts are equally important. I can't tell you the number of times that I've worked with like baby therapists and they've come out and they're all the same. Okay. So you're going to do this too, which is why I'm giving you a big dose of reality before we get going. like you get out of school and you've got all these tools and you've got like all this stuff that you're just ready. When you come out, I'm going to make a difference. And you will. And it's great, but it's not in the way that you think. Because when you get out there, like you've got all this stuff, and then the harsh, cold reality of what this field is actually hits you. And I say that for effect. This field is beautiful. That's why I'm still doing it. Like I've been doing it, like I said, 15 years of doing this. And it's beautiful. I love what I do. I love therapy. I love teaching. But there are things that happen with this field that, like, the book will tell you one thing, and then you'll get in the world, and it's like, wait a minute, the book said this, but that's what this is. Because I can give you the book. Like, the book is what it is, and it's great, and it's fine, and it's whatever. But you're also going to get stories from, like, what it's like to actually do it. And that's important too. That's the stuff that the book can't always give you. And that's a big part of what it's like to treat addiction here and in the tri-state, assuming that's where you're going to be. I'm also going to look to set a foundation for understanding the reality or the realities about treating someone who struggles with addiction. Okay. I also want to progress the language used to discuss addiction. It doesn't have to be something that's all just about morality. And there's going to be a lot of Taylor Swift or Chappell Roan or like some kind of pop culture. I'm getting old, and I want to not feel old all the time. And I accept me for who I am, but I also I want to connect with you because I want this to come alive through the screen because we're not in person. And so whatever I can do to make this stuff like connect with you is kind of what I want to do. And that's the quality that you can expect. Here's the book. It's fine. It's good. There's a lot of good reading in there, and we'll talk a lot about the book as we go through. It is something that I do recommend. And it's good. It's a good resource. So go ahead and pick it up. Okay. Attendance policy. If you're not listening to this right now, you probably aren't going to be in the class, so it really doesn't matter. You're expected to visit the Canvas site a minimum of 3 times a week. Okay. And that's to just participate in stuff. Okay. So make sure that you are diligent about that. If you have questions, I respond to emails within 24 hours during the school week and within 48 hours on the weekends. Give me a little grace there. I got kids and they have needs in school and all the things. So emails with questions about assignments, send them to me no later than 48 hours prior. I cannot tell you the number of times that someone will email me like 2 hours before an assignment is due and say, hey, I can't log in. Well, I know that that's a thing, but there's not a lot I can do about that at that point. Or, hey, my grandmother literally just died 30 minutes before the assignment was about to be turned in. I'm grieving. I need to go to a funeral. Can I get an extension? I got a work around for that. I'll get to that in a second. But like, you give me more than 48 hours. Okay. If you have a question, because I want to make sure you have sufficient time to complete it. Inside of 48 hours makes it a little tight. So please do that. All right. Assignments. So modules will be made available on Sunday at 6 every week. Okay. Actually, that's not true. It's 8 o'clock. Or is it 6? We'll make it 8. Actually, yeah, let's make it 8. 8 o'clock every week. Okay. Assignments are due. I'm a Sunday to Saturday person. I know other professors are Monday to Sunday people. I'm a Sunday to Saturday. Okay. That gives me Sunday to grade stuff and get it back to you in a timely manner. Because I've noticed that if I do this Monday to Sunday, I'm scrambling to grade papers because I have my real job on. Not that this isn't a real job. I have my full-time job and things get in the way. So I want to take time on Sunday to like grade papers and get timely feedback so that you have what you need. Okay. So I'm a Sunday to Saturday person. So I'm sorry if that ruins your weekend, but oh well. I will grade all assignments within a week of their due date. Okay. I will make every effort to do that, including your papers. Now, here's one thing that I do in my class. And this is just unique to this class, and I do this in all my classes, but it tends to be a good thing. I give you one free pass. Okay. One free assignment. Okay. You can take it if you want it. If not, whatever. The one pass cannot be the last paper that we have at the end. That's the one exception. Okay. But on any other assignment, if you're going to be late and you tell me ahead of time, then I give you a pass, and I give you like 4 days later to turn it in without penalty. Okay, I do have to have limits. I can't just let you delay it to the end of the semester. So whatever it is, if it's a discussion board, if it's a paper, if it's a quiz, like if you let me know ahead of time. Now it has to be ahead of time. It can't be, it's due at midnight and you send me a message at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, "Hey, I missed it. Can I?" No, you need to have better planning, but life happens and I understand that. And so you get one freebie. Okay. After that, or if you don't tell me, I dock 20% for each day that something's late, up to 80%. So I don't want to give you a 0. So if it's like a week after and you just attempt it, I will get and you get a 20 out of 20, I'll give you 4 points. Okay. Cause I don't want to give you a 0. Right. So, but it's late, and that's part of planning. Like, we're learning how to be adults here. We have deadlines. So, it's 20% for each day up to 80%. And then after that, it's just a flat 80% past that. But I keep them open. So like if you miss something and you make it up, I'll give you credit for it. That's important on like a paper, right? You can get points back for the paper. So just keep that in mind. That's there for you if you want to use it. All right. What else? I think that's it. All right. So here are the assignments. So there's a syllabus pop quiz, 1 quiz, 30 points, asked to show that you watch this. It's easy. All of you will make 30 points. If you don't, I'll make sure that you do, but everybody's going to get 30 points, but just take it and do it. If you miss a question, cool, I'll fix it and it's fine, but take it, get your free 30 points and just go over that you've watched it. Okay. You'll have 4 module quizzes. Okay. Quizzes will be around 20 questions or so, and they're going to cover the things from the book and from the lecture. You can expect questions to be a combination of multiple choice, short answer, and there's no final test. Okay. So it's just each module and then you'll be at the end. So no final. Your final is technically your paper. So you're going to have 2 papers in the class. The first one is actually kind of easy. Okay. So I want you to write me a 2 to 3 page paper, double spaced, all the things. Okay. I want an understanding of what do you think addiction is and why. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. This is just your opinion. So give me examples as to why you think what you think. I don't really care what they are. If you think I mentioned earlier, it's not a moral thing. If you think it is, tell me why. If you've had personal experience with it, I want to hear about that. Or like, basically, I want to know what you think addiction is and why that is. Well, I think it's a moral failing because I grew up in church and I blah, 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 and all the things. Like, that's fine. I don't believe because I had an uncle that did this and then this happened and that had an impact on our family. And here's like that. Good. All of that's good. I just want to know, why do you think people struggle with addiction? Okay. What is it, whether it's socially, whether it's personally, like, I just want to know why you think or what you think addiction is or what you believe that it is. Okay. I don't expect a considerable amount of research. Okay. It's just to set a baseline for your understanding of what this is. I want to kind of see growth as we get to the end. Okay. And to challenge you a little bit to go, well, I've never really thought about addiction. I wonder what I think it is. Okay. Now I want APA formatting. That's important. Okay. APA formatting is important. When you've written papers before, it probably looked like this. You had this little heading here, and then you had this is MLA formatting. This is not what I want. Okay. Purdue has a wonderful resource for APA formatting. It's awesome. Use that. Format your stuff appropriately. Okay. I don't want this. You will get docked points if your papers look like this. Okay. Because this is not what I want. Okay. Discussion boards. I know y'all hate discussion boards, and I get it, but we do need to have interaction. I want you to see differing opinions. I want you to comment and think. Okay. Um, 8 discussions, 20 points each, 160 points total. Okay. Um, if you get your um post in by Wednesday each week, I think I touch on that. Yeah. I need the post and the response by Saturday. Okay. You can wait till the end and do it all. Fine. I don't do the thing where I need you to post by Thursday and then Saturday. If you get your initial post in, so what you think by Wednesday at 11:59, I give you 2 bonus points. Okay. And then, this is how I score them. You get, if you put something up there, 14 points, all like automatically. Okay. And then 2, if you've responded to somebody. Then I give you 2 more points if your own post is quality. Then I give you 2 more if your response post is quality. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. So, like, if the post is provide your thoughts on Canadian geese, which are definitive proof that evil exists, then, like, this is a good post and good response. This is a bad post and this is a bad response. If you post like, yeah, I agree, that's not no bueno. That is no bueno. I want you to think about this stuff, okay? Because that's important. Why? Well, quality I know is subjective, but anybody can type I agree or I disagree. That's easy. This is 300. This is a 300 level class. So we need to start really working those critical thinking skills. Okay. I'm not going to be real picky about it either. Like, I want to see that you've considered it and thought about it. Okay. And maybe challenge some stuff. If you want to agree, say why, and then add something to the discussion. Okay. And the biggest reason is because, like, you're going to have these discussions when you're out working in the field. You may have to go against the grain. Okay. I'll give you an example. So when I first started at Journey Recovery Center, our medical director, who I absolutely adore and I love, and I owe so much of my career to her, she's amazing, Dr. Teresa Keller. She believed that every patient should have to do a 12-step recovery program. And I had to disagree with her because I don't think that's appropriate. Not because I don't believe that 12-step programs are effective. I think they can be. But the mandate that everybody has to do a 12-step program is not good patient care. We should give it as an option. Well, I had to go against the grain and tell her why. And that required me to have some of this depth of thought that I want you to have too. So that's why it's important. Okay. And that's why I really emphasize it. Okay. Now, here is your sort of final assignment. Okay. Your schema of addiction, part 2, is due on December the 6th. Okay. Going back to that first one, wherever it is, this one's due September 6th. So it's due in like 3 weeks. So, but it's an opinion paper. So, you don't have to do a ton of research for it, but this one you do. So this is your final paper and it's the final project for the course. So based on your experience with the class, I want a 4 to 5 page paper, double spaced, all the things, using at least 3 academic resources. Okay. I really emphasize that. I don't want Psychology Today as a resource. I want an academic journal. Okay. To address the following questions. 1, now that you completed, what is your current schema of addiction? Why is it valid? And what evidence can you provide? Comparing it to your original thing, what changed? So again, comparing it to what you did at the beginning, what's changed now? What led to the change? Okay. If so, why? If not, why? Okay. Remember, cite sources. Given what it is now, how it changed and why it changed, or if it didn't change, tell me why. Why is what you originally thought valid too? How can you use that to have an impact on those that you serve in the future? Okay. So 4 to 5 pages. Okay. Groovy. Groovy. Cool. Other point gathering opportunities. I like to throw in random bonus points. It's up to you if you want to do them. Now, this is connected to what I'm about to talk about next. Um, please, please, please watch the lectures. That seems like such a simple thing. And I know that it could be a big ask, but my lectures are long. I will go ahead and call that out. I will give you about 40 to 45 minutes of content. Now, when I was in school back in my day, we had to go to class 3 hours a week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, and on Tuesday, Thursday too. So like if we had one class, we would have to meet for 3 hours during the week, every week for 15 weeks. So that's like 45 minutes of class or 45 hours of class. So you're getting 45 minutes. It's once a week. I try to make it as audio friendly as possible. And so like if you access this on YouTube, you can open it up and just like if you want to go wash dishes or go for a walk or play with your dog or whatever you want to do, you can listen to this stuff. You don't always have to see all the visuals. The visuals will be there, they're important, but you know what I mean? Like you can even watch this on like 2x speed and fly through these in half the time. Okay. But please watch the lectures because there's so much good material that we're going to talk about. And I would hate for you to miss out on some of it because you didn't watch the lectures. Okay. Now, one of the things that you all don't know, or maybe you do know and you don't care, but I can see, and I'm not saying this is like a threat, but like I can see what you do. Like I can see what you click on. I can see that you're not watching the lectures. I can see that you're not engaging in the stuff. Like I can see all of that on my end. You can't see this, but Canvas allows me to see what you do. I'm not saying that as a threat, okay? I'm saying that as like I know if you're not watching the lectures, which then makes me wonder, well, how are they getting such good grades on the test? Okay. So let's have a chat, kids, about Chat GPT. I give up. I give up. I fought this fight for about a year. And I have concluded that there is nothing that I or any of us are going to or will be able to do to stop you from using Chat GPT. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just going to say, okay. If you use and want to use Chat GPT for your stuff, listen, I can't say that I don't get it. I get it. I really do. And it is a very powerful and very useful tool. Can't say that I don't blame you. If I was a college kid, I'd probably do the same thing, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to sit here and be a hater. What I am going to say is this. If you want to use ChatGPT, the only thing that you're doing is hurting yourself for when you get down the road and you have to remember this stuff. One of the things that I've been able to really pride myself on is even though I don't have an MD or any of the fancy stuff after my name, and even though I can't prescribe, I do know a lot about psychotropics, and I do know a lot about medicine, and I do know a lot about how the brain and stuff works. And that's allowed me to be in rooms with doctors and chop it up with them and talk about clinical things. In fact, one of the doctors that I used to work with would come to me from time to time and say, "What do you think about prescribing X medicine over this medicine?" And I was able to talk about the differences and what I thought and how it would affect the patient. Now, ultimately, they're the ones that have to be the one prescribing, but it felt really good that they came and asked me. Now, I was able to do that because we didn't have ChatGPT back in my day. And so we actually had to learn this stuff. And I'm not saying that you can't do it with ChatGPT. However, again, I was a college student once and I was kind of lazy. And so I know that if I had the lazy way out and the easy way out, probably would have taken it, but it would have only hurt me in the long run. Okay. So, I can't stop you. If I catch you using ChatGPT, I will give you a 0 for the assignment. Okay. If I catch you right now, it's not going to be through um, it's not going to be through a GPT detector because those aren't reliable. But there are things that ChatGPT does to kind of give away that it's ChatGPT. And if I've got my suspicions, then I'm probably going to call you out on it. Okay. But I can fight it. I can give you the, or I can just accept it. You're going to use ChatGPT. I hate it because this stuff is really good. But, you know, maybe you just want to get the grade to get out of the class so you can move on with your life. Who am I to judge you? But this stuff's meaningful to me. And I also think it's probably meaningful to patients that you may see down the road. So that's just my little fireside chat. Please don't use ChatGPT. Here's my scoring rubric. I look at grammar, spelling. I look at the voice. I want to be able to feel you say what you're saying. Okay. Can I determine the concept of your writing and its perspective? The body of the paper. Did you answer the questions that I ask you with complete thought backed up by evidence? And are your thoughts supported by research? I don't want you to put something down as definitive just based on vibes. Okay. Conclusions. A conclusion is very strong. For me, it's 15%, but it can wrap up everything in your paper very powerfully. And I think that that's great. APA formatting. Did it adhere to APA guidelines that we talked about? And if there are sources needed, are they reputable and evidence-based? Okay. Here's my grading scale. Here's our general class schedule. Okay. It may change a little bit, but in general, this is what it's going to look like. Classroom online etiquette. Don't be a jerk. I mean, that's the big thing. Be respectful of people. I'm not going to grade you on your belief. I'm going to grade you on the evidence that you back up your belief with. Okay. I just want to see that you're thinking through it. I don't care what you think. I just want to see that you back up what you're saying with evidence, scholarly evidence. Okay. And that's basically it. Okay. Just don't be a jerk. There's no space for it. We need to be nicer to each other. Cite your sources. Don't plagiarize. Sharing is caring. So if you have something cool, share it. Let me know, and I'll add it to our class stuff. Okay. If you have any disabilities, let me know. I will. It has to be filed with our disability programs and service office. Check that link out. If you do have a disability, learning disability, need more time or whatever, it has to be filed at the disability office, and then I will accommodate whatever it is. I've done that plenty in the past. Diversity is very important. So I want my class to be an inclusive community of people with varied characteristics, ideas, worldviews. Let people be who they are, and it's okay. It's a beautiful thing when we allow people to be themselves. Okay. Pronouns. I know that we're not supposed to say pronouns now because of reasons, but my pronouns are he, him, his. I will still respect yours if you choose to use them. The sexual misconduct thing, pretty self-explanatory. So don't do that. Religious holidays. I know we got Christmas at the end, Thanksgiving. I don't know that there's really any here in this semester that we have to worry about, but if there are, or there's things specific to you, let me know. Student evals. So at the end of the semester, you will be allowed to rate my class, okay, and to tell me what I can do better as a professor and how you felt you did in the class. So during around the 2 weeks prior to the semester, you'll be able to reflect on what you've learned. I really care about your evals. I genuinely really do. Because they help me to be a better professor and I can improve the class. I also appreciate compliments, but I really value the criticism more so. If there are things that are not going well in the class, let me know because it helps me to make changes. Like this person who said what they liked when asked what did they enjoy about the class. Nothing really. I don't like his voice at all. His voice actually makes my skin crawl. I really hate sitting through his PowerPoints. So make sure that you complete the discussion board and quiz this week. You're free to get a head start on your reading. Please email me with any questions, comments, or concern, and I really look forward to teaching this class. I love teaching. I love what I do, and I look forward to learning next to all of you. I end every lecture the same way, which is to say that Canadian geese are definitive proof that evil exists. And then also when I went to Hawaii, I learned about the concept of mahalo, which is doing everything with thanks. So thanks. So please live mahalo. I will see you next week. Goodbye.